So hi Pia, hi Uri. It's great to be here again with you. So welcome to our another chat.
Hi guys, thank you so much. It's wonderful to see you again. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you for coming. So I'll start as we already agreed, following some structure. And first will be that we will try to introduce Pia, and then she will fix it. So uh, as she would say, she's passionate about software testing or quality in software development, if I understood it correctly. She's Austrian, but she's living in Switzerland, in Zurich, where she is working on some type of quality projects or quality assurance or whatever we could call it about software testing and quality assurance. And she's becoming very famous speaker and conference organizer and contributing to community a lot, especially in these regions around, or in Europe in general, I would say. I didn't notice anything outside of Europe yet, but maybe it's coming and Pia will share some news soon. So maybe that's it what I know about you. We were trying to find some hobbies and
Yes,
we heavily failed. So maybe you could help us with that. So
Yeah.
yes.
could you improve what we find out and maybe fix the...
Sure, I can. Yeah, but you did pretty good. So I'm very impressed. Yeah. So no mistakes, but maybe I can enhance a little bit. So I also worked at the beginning of my career in software development, software testing. I started with test automation, mainly working with Tosca. And this is how also I came to Zurich for a project really as a Tosca consultant. And then via test management and also team leadership, somehow I came to Zülke in the beginning of 2019. And at Zülke, I really got the chance to shift left. So really involved with my skills from the beginning and not like always having to be the one at the end of the processing when things are not so good. I mean, this is important, of course, but when I can choose, I prefer to be involved throughout the entire life cycle as early as possible. So I think that that's pretty much for looking at my professional life. You phrased it already very good. And you looked for hobbies. It's true. I'm not really sharing stuff on social media from my private life. But it's not a secret. I really love the ocean. But I get seasick quite easily. So I prefer to be underwater. So scuba diving, I really love that. And if I'm not underwater, so as you know, in Switzerland, we don't have an ocean, and I prefer to go scuba diving in the ocean. I like the mountains, walking, hiking a little bit, yoga, I also enjoy, and snowboarding in winter. So Switzerland is really good for skiing and snowboarding. Yeah, I think that's for my hobbies. Yeah,
Perfect.
No secrets, but not really content on social media, which you could have found.
Yeah, but I believe that when you work with others, it's important to know what are their hobbies. So for me, it's kind of complementary information or supporting information because I love to work with the people who share my hobbies. So
that's
that's why
true.
I'm always asking, because that's, if we have some human work, that's important for the colleagues as well. So it's important for me to share, and I don't feel it's so sensitive to touch the topic, hopefully.
Yeah. True. No, I agree. And I just prefer to share it more in a conversation.
Yeah, that's nice. Because we are big as your stalkers, last 2 days, and we are trying to find something. It was impossible, Okay, I'm also not using Instagram, and also try. Okay, yeah, Instagram, nothing. Okay, then fake nothing. Okay, I can try something. I go through some YouTube video, nothing. Come on, what's happened? That it looks that you don't have a free time, because now a lot of managers they're like struggling with the free time, and probably we have to ask how looks your work and life balance. But it's nice that you have some hobbies. Yeah.
But maybe the testing is the biggest hobby.
Yeah.
Well, it's also kind of a hobby, right? Because that's why I call this my passion. I really love what I'm doing. Yeah, and the whole topic of quality assurance and software development. So yes, but no, you don't need to worry about my work-life balance. It's all good. Yes, but thank you for asking. It's important nowadays.
Today, what we would like to also experiment with is, as a part of the introduction, we call it hot seat questions, and we would like to have just one word as an answer for each question. It will be 5 questions, very quick. So let's see whether you could make it.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Okay, so we will start with maybe simple one. Vienna or Zurich?
Zurich.
Wine or beer?
Wine.
Office or remote office?
Remote.
And then I expect the answer only yes or no. Is Friday the right day for the conference?
Yes.
Okay, we will touch that later.
Yeah, we have the plan to ask them in the end with related topic, but on the hot seat is better. But we find some topic. We have some extra topic, because if I mentioned that I was your biggest stalker, and I find something that what was interesting and amazed me, that you start, in hotel business, or how to say that you are one of the hotel manager, and then jump to testing. Yeah, and what is your journey? Or how it was happened that you jump from different sectors to the IT, especially to testing. What was the motivation?
Yeah, a long time nobody asked me that. That's really nice. So when I was a teenager, friends of my family, they had a hotel in Italy, and I really loved the atmosphere there. And there I got the chance to see, behind the scenes, and I always liked this, doing nice stuff for others, like providing good service, nice rooms, good food. So as you can hear already, quality is already a topic there. Yes. Yeah. And so I've chosen this. There was this school in Vienna for hotel management, especially, and I thought, yeah, that's my place to be. I want to go there. So I did that, and after school, I thought, yeah, now I really want to go and work, and I could study later if I want to or not. So I really wanted to, get my own money. So I just started at a nice hotel in Vienna, a 4-star, and then I changed after some time to a nice 5-star hotel, and also did various jobs within the hotel. But there came the day when I somehow got stuck. And then I thought okay, so what I'm going to do now? And then I decided, maybe I go studying again. And then I changed to part-time, and I studied, what's the English word? I think it's a kind of business administration. It's Unternehmensführung in Deutsch. So I don't know what's the correct, but it's a bit economics, it's business administration, but also some basics about IT. So they called it electronic business, and I had no idea. And I thought, yeah, maybe some, I don't know, web shop or how to sell stuff on the internet or so. And then in the first semester, I sat there, and our professor started with Visual Basic. And I was like, what? how did that happen? Where did I sign up for that? And there I was really struggling. And then I thought, okay, that's probably, I won't be a programmer, but the field itself, that sounds interesting to me. And then it continued, and we also had that, some other stuff and relational databases and systems architecture and all that stuff, but very basic. Yeah, and this is how I got like first in touch with software and IT business. And I just thought, yeah, that's nice to know. I didn't know about, I couldn't think of a job in that industry for me. And yeah, so it's a kind of here and there journey, up and down. And well, to shorten it a little bit, I living in Vienna, I went very regularly to a gym, and there I got to know a nice woman, and her husband was working in software testing at an Austrian company. And he knew via his wife that I wasn't happy with my job at that time. And then he went to me the next time in the gym. He said, "Oh, you studied something with IT. Isn't that right?" And I'm like, "Well, don't tell anybody who really studied computer science, because I wouldn't call it like that. But yeah, I know some basics." And then he told me about software testing and that they're looking for motivated people. And yeah, this is how I stumbled at first into the software testing world, and I just fell in love with it, obviously.
Okay.
That's
and
interesting.
did you start directly with Tosca, or what type of testing you start first, or how it starts?
Yeah. I started with Tosca, and I think as both me and my my former company, we were surprised that that I had some kind of talent for it and how it worked. Yeah, but no, I really liked it, and it was really like the first months were really tough. Like new job, like everything was new. But it was so interesting. So I figured it out, and I just liked it, and I wanted to, good software, high quality stuff. So I think that kept me going, right?
Okay, so maybe I will just stop it here as a part of introduction and move on with that experience to the second part of our chat, which is testing topics. And that's within one interview, you said something like automation is a new testing. So that was related to this, or what do you meant by that? What did you mean by that?
I think it was more like I hear it very often. It's very commonly used. I think it's one way to do testing. So I'm not saying that's like the only way to go. So maybe just to give a little bit more context. But how I see it is automation can support us really a lot, and it can like make us so much faster and more efficient. So we can really use our brains, our human brains, where it makes more sense, right? I mean, if you could, for me, there is no point of having me to click through a manual script when we could automate it easily and just reuse it. And then you also don't have like me as a human potentially making errors, right? I mean, the machine just does it over and over again, exactly the same. So I'm, on one hand, I'm really a big fan of automation and all tools we have. But on the other hand, I don't like how some people see it. Like they see it as replacing the human testers, which I definitely don't agree. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. And are you still actively using some automation tools, or not anymore?
Currently not. This is more about like in which project I'm working in. So currently I'm more into consulting projects, so not actively using any automation tooling, but I hope there comes a new project again where I can do more hands-on stuff and also automation.
So I'll not dig into more details about the test automation, but I spotted another pretty controversial statement in that discussion, and that was that we as a testers have no more our own teams. How did you how did you mean that, or what was the meaning of that?
So what I've seen when I started my career, there was somewhere in the office there was a tester team, usually not in the same room than like developers or the rest of the project team. They were separated, and I never understood why that is. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, for me, do we, and not only testers, like need a team for our discipline only? Do we really need that? In daily project work, I've seen people being much more efficient when they are in cross-functional teams. And then what works really good for me is like, if the three of us, we were then assigned to 3 different Agile teams working together with all the other disciplines. And then the 3 of us, for example, we could meet, let's say, I don't know, once or twice a week in a kind of community of practice, and then exchange within our practice or discipline and share what we've learned, and then, you know, bring it to our Agile teams. So yeah, this is what I've seen works best and what I prefer to work in. So yes, I want to have my other tester colleagues close, but I don't think we need to be our own team, or I don't want us to be separated from the others.
So this sounds all as a kind of ideas coming from Agile, which might mean that, or what's your opinion about the Waterfall project? Do you have still some chance to see them around you, or is it that era over, or
is Waterfall dead?
No, it's not that. Although I'm not a big fan, it's no, I couldn't kill it so far. No, sorry. There are definitely organizations where it makes sense to do projects following Waterfall or the V model, or call it however you like, or let's say a more traditional way. And there are other organizations and other projects where it makes much more sense to do it in an agile way of working, and then you choose what works best for you, and also you don't, from my point of view, you don't need to follow like strictly this is Scrum and now we have to do everything in Scrum. I would say, well, just take what works in your company best, and so this is more important for me than to say, okay, we do plain Waterfall or Kanban or you name it.
I see. So what you would take from Waterfall? What works best?
Not all the documentation, but some kind of documentation, because a lot of my colleagues, especially the younger ones, they grew up with Agile's ways of working, and they only heard from Waterfall project that you have to document everything, and it's also complicated and nobody reads and so on. So they think like, we don't need to document at all. And I would say, no. There is some, we need to find the right level, and then also, keep it up to date. Because if we don't take care of our documentation, then of course it doesn't make any sense. It's just annoying, and And also here, I would use the tools we have whenever they make sense. So I wouldn't like do any documentation, like just writing a 50 pages Word document for requirements. I wouldn't do that. So just use, I don't know, some Atlassian stuff or Azure DevOps or whatever you like, and make your life easier. Then documentation is not a big deal to me.
Okay. So talking about these different practices in Agile and Waterfall, I have last questions and then we could move on maybe. And that's, you are advanced level certified test manager according to ISTQB scheme. And you also hosting conference where I saw a lot of critics of the ISTQB. So my question would be, what's the future? Considering these two worlds, at least two, maybe we could split it into more, but at least two, which are not, I would say, compliant, or at least they claim that they don't like each other, or at least one of these worlds don't like the other one.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion about that topic, and where you see the future, and based on that moves in in area of activities and methodology and good practice?
That's a tricky one. And like the first thing I'd like to mention here is it depends. No, I'll give you my personal opinion, and this I'd really like to point out, because I know there are a lot of or there are different parties, like that's the only way to go, and this is, you know. So my very personal opinion on that is, yes, I did the certifications for the ISTQB, and I did 2 of them, and it was my choice to do so. So it was not that like some, I don't know, some project or client, nobody forced me because they wanted to see that certificate in my CV. Yes, that happens from time to time, but for myself, it was my choice, and at that point in time, it absolutely made sense for me. And ISTQB, with the training, in addition, that gave me a very good knowledge base, which still helps me in everyday life. It's already some years ago that I did my last certification, and it helps me every day because it brings us a common glossary. Like, you can always refer to ISTQB glossary or theory, all their books, everything. When you come to a new client or a project, like, people, you know, they use words differently, or I've been discussing over what's a system test, what's an integration test. Oh my God, I stopped counting how many times.
And does it help?
Is where I use ISTQB glossary all the time, and no more discussions. And I said, no matter if you agree or not, but let's just agree together that we use this so that everybody knows we're talking now the same language when it comes to what is a system test, for example. So that's one thing. And also, I encourage especially my junior colleagues to do the foundation, at least the training. If you need a certificate, yes or no, I think everybody can decide for him or herself. But I think the basic training is good, as said, for some common ground, and then you do your own. You have your own experience and projects, and then you see how it works for you in real life. And this is where also the other side for me comes in. So for me, ISTQB brings a lot of theoretical knowledge, which is good. But then when you go outside into the real world, everything is different. So what should I do now? So yeah, so I think it's a mix. You have to mix it. It's yeah, similar to what I've said with Waterfall and Agile, right? Just take what makes sense for you and make the best out of for you in that situation where you're currently working in. So yeah, so it's maybe I'm not a big fan of certificates, but any kind of, right? So it's for me, it's just not. It doesn't tell you anything if you have, or not really a lot, if you have that badge on your social media or not. For me, it's can you really do something with that knowledge in real life? Yes or no? And this certificate won't tell you.
And have you attended rapid software testing courses or some very similar, or the topics around it? Or I think also Ministry of Testing doing a lot of like alternative activities. Have you attended these type of events or trainings?
I haven't been to the rapid software testing course, but I've met one of the guys several times already. So I know their ideas. Yeah, some I like, some are maybe a bit too harsh for me. But that's good. I like to get new ideas and then just see for myself how I can use it. Same goes for Ministry of Testing. A lot of stuff I like, and other stuff is maybe not for me, but for other people in the community, which is perfectly good. So I think that the mix is always, as you can see, that's the important thing for me.
I see.
Yeah, cool. I guess this is the right time to move on to the communities, because you are a big, supporter of the communities, and we find this Koalas, or how they called. I don't know if you spell it correctly. What is it? What about this?
The Koalas. Yes, so it's it's basically a shortened of quality koalas. That was just, we spent some time, had some beers, and then we came up with a funny name. So it's basically me and two buddies. They both came from development, and so software engineers, and me from the testing side. And we used to work all of us used to work for Silke, but one left us. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We just thought about it would be nice to just record some of our conversations we had, like the
this one,
just
or similar.
Yes,
or
like
not.
this
with
one.
The beer, not with the beer.
Right. No beer involved. But we always discussed about, for instance, how to ensure quality during a sprint, or during like the whole development life cycle. Where does quality come in? Where should the tester be involved? And we discussed a lot about that. And then one of us just said, hey, why don't we share that with the community? Like, of course, put a little bit more structure on it. But that's basically it. So that's what we're doing and I'm publishing those videos on my YouTube channel. And we just started with a series about the development life cycle. So we start with, when new requirements come into your team, and then how our stories getting created, and refinement, and all that stuff. So yes, I think we had some nice discussions, and you should check it out.
Yeah, I'm already your subscriber, so
awesome, very nice. Thank you.
I have to fix it now.
And then the second one we maybe picked up from all the activities we find is this greatest quality convention.
Oh yes.
So yes. What's that about?
This is I'm doing that's a convention, as the name says, which I established with two other friends here in Zurich. They are also working in the same area, and focusing on software quality and testing. And we thought there is not enough community events for our topics in Switzerland. So that's why we thought we're doing our own convention, and it will take place the first time on the 2nd of June, which is next week, Friday, in Zurich. And it's a one-day conference. It's single track. We have a really cool modern industrial style location, good food, drinks afterwards, and some good speakers, nice program, very a good mixture, international lineup. So it's gonna be awesome. And the plan is to do that regularly, so at least like once a year, that convention thing, and in between meetups or some satellite events.
And is there any online option, or it's only in person?
It's only in person.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Maybe that could be something for the future to offer. For the first time, we want to focus on one channel.
One channel.
It's already quite challenging to organize, but also a lot of fun. So I can't wait for the 2nd of June.
And do you have still some free spots, or it's fully already booked?
And we have, the good thing is with our location, we are quite flexible. So we have some spots
so I will
still
place
available.
The link for that under the video. So
that would be very nice.
Maybe we could sell 1 or 2 more tickets. Maybe
that would be nice.
Use it as an excuse for the business trip or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, we also have international guests. There are people from different places in Europe coming. I really like that. I think it's a good chance to also check out Zurich or some other parts of Switzerland, because Switzerland is really small. You are like basically within an hour. You are pretty much you can see a lot just traveling an hour within Switzerland.
So is the Friday a good day for the conference?
So I would say yes, because then you come, maybe Thursday evening you arrive, and then you have a cool conference and a nice aperitivo afterwards, and then check out nightlife in Zurich, and then you have a nice weekend in Switzerland.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it
Looks
was
like
but what do you
by
think?
purpose like that.
Yes. Yeah. We thought about Thursday, Friday, but honestly, I don't know why in the end we then decided for Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was surprising, because I would expect that the Mondays and Fridays are days which are usually not used, because they might be busy in terms of traffic and all the other stuff. But okay, so maybe I'll now conclude by last topic, and that's promotion. Maybe we did a lot of promotion about the convention itself, but if you have anything else you would like to share with the other visitors or viewers.
Yes. Well, you said we did already a lot of promotion. So check out the link, which we will post in the show notes, of course. And if not this year, then hopefully we'll see you next year at the Greatest Quality Convention. And other than that, check out my YouTube channel to see some more funny discussions around software quality and software development in nowadays. And if you wanna, I don't know, hear me talking, or just invite me, or maybe I could support your team with Agile quality assurance. I think, Marcel, maybe we could put my website also in the links, and then just get in touch with me, and I'm happy to help and to connect, and or just simply have a chat or a beer if somebody is in Zurich, or wine. So if I have to choose, then it's wine. But I also like beer, so I'm flexible.
Okay. So, Pia, thank you very much for joining us today. We will publish it soon and have
Thank you,
a great
everybody.
conference next week.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having
you.
me. It was great
And
fun.
bye.
See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.